What's up? This is Kiandra Richardson, and this is Behind the Headshot with Zachariah Shoots.
Kiandra, where are you from?
I am from Warner Robins, Georgia.
What was it like growing up in Warner Robins, Georgia?
Country. It's a very small city in Georgia, and it's just real country. Growing up is very country. Not much to do, but it was fun though. So we played outside. I grew up when we were still playing outside.
Your family still live there?
Mm-hmm. All my family's there. Yeah.
Do you miss home?
Sometimes. I like to miss home when I'm in LA, and I like to miss LA when I'm home. So I visit pretty often.
How long have you been in LA?
It's going on 5 years, I think. I think it's been about 5, maybe 6.
What made you decide to make that move?
Well, I was doing a musical called Born for This first, and we were gonna do a run here in LA. And so before we decided to go on the run, I was like, I think I'm gonna stay. I think I'm gonna go out there, do the show, and then stay after the show. So I put all of my stuff in storage when I was in Georgia before coming out to LA for the musical. Put all my stuff in storage, and I said, okay, I'm gonna have to go, and I'm gonna have to make it work because now I don't have anywhere else to come back to. When I put my stuff in storage, I kind of gave myself like nowhere to go, nowhere to return, so I had to make it work.
Why did you want to stay in LA?
Something new. I needed something different. I had done Atlanta, I had seen New York. I'd been there a couple of times, wasn't my thing. And I think it was just time. I was ready to go somewhere new to try something else. You know how you reach that cap in a place and you're like, I need to expand, I need something different, I need something more. So that was my reasoning. See if I could tackle it.
So before you moved to LA, what were you doing?
Before I moved to LA, I was singing in a cover band in Atlanta called MVP. Shout out to MVP. So yeah, I was singing in a cover band, and I was doing like promo gigs. So like, you know how those people that shoot the t-shirts at like the Atlanta Falcons games? I was doing stuff like that. Making money here and there, and then singing with a cover band every weekend.
So you know your way around a t-shirt gun?
Not really. See, I wasn't the one shooting the gun. I was passing out the t-shirts with my hands or like throwing them. But
okay.
That same team, I was in the vicinity.
Did you go to school?
I did. I went to Savannah College of Art and Design in Savannah, Georgia.
What was your major? What were you going to school for?
I went to school for performing arts. So that's singing and acting and dancing. But we focused a lot on TV and film acting. Okay. Yeah.
This may be an obvious question, but when you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Baby, I wanted to be Whitney Houston. I saw when I was like 4 and 5, my mom would like sing Whitney around the house, and we would watch her concerts on VHS. And I was one of those kids who knew instantly what they wanted to do. And when I saw Whitney, I saw myself. So it's good to see yourself, I will say. So I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to tour and do big shows like that.
So talk about booking Born for This. What was that like? What was the process like? Tell that story.
So I had auditioned for American Idol, and I got the golden ticket, for Idol. And then around the same time when I was preparing to go to Hollywood for Idol, I got a call about a musical. And I wasn't necessarily I wasn't really wanting to do theater at the time. I was kind of more so wanting to focus on recording music and, shows. But got the call for the musical, And I went in and I was like, let me just go and just sing, see what happens. So I went in, sang some songs, and then I got a call saying that BB wanted to talk to me, BB Winans. So the musical is called Born for This, and it's the story of BB Winans' life, pretty much. And they were really close to Whitney Houston, and they asked me to play the Whitney Houston role. And so he calls and he's like, is this Kiandra? And I'm like, is this BB? You know, like calling my phone. And so he talked and just told me, he was like, you know, you gotta do this. You gotta do this show. And I was like, you know, okay. So I went and I prayed about it and cried about it because I was just in between going to Hollywood with Idol and doing a musical and playing Whitney. And so I ended up making the decision to play Whitney, and it was one of the best decisions of my life. So, and I ended up going to Hollywood anyway, so kind of, you know, it worked out. But that was how I got into Born for This.
Was that your first acting gig?
Yeah, that was my first like professional gig. My first professional gig, I think, actually. Mm-hmm.
When did you decide that you wanted to act?
I always liked acting, but I decided that I wanted to do it professionally once I came to LA and I kind of saw, you know, just the life here, how people were doing auditions and so forth, so on. And I ended up getting a couple of calls for some projects that were coming up, and I was like, you know, well, let me give it a shot. And that was kind of when I made the decision to pursue it professionally. Before then, I was just kind of doing music. So, did I answer the question?
Yeah, I think so. What made you
At some
decide?
point in time, I decided to do it. Being around it kind of is what made me decide. I've always wanted to do music, but the opportunities came up and I kind of just pursued it. I studied it though, so, you know, it wasn't far.
What's your favorite thing about being an actor?
My favorite thing? What's my favorite thing about being an actor? Wow, that's a really good question. Because the only thing I can think of right now is how nervous I get on set. So I'm like, what is your favorite thing? Maybe I should work on not being so nervous all the time so I can actually enjoy my work, right? But I would say the people. I love people, and I love talking to people and, you know, getting to know people, learning people. So being on set and getting to talk and engage with my castmates, kind of making new friends and just, you know, learning people. That's kind of my favorite part.
But what keeps you motivated as an actor?
Getting better. I just want to see what all I'm capable of. So, like right now, I know I have certain internal, not limitations, but obstacles that I kind of want to overcome. So I want to see myself overcome, you know, the fear of this, or, you know, feeling like I'm not giving my all, or like I'm not really pushing to my furthest extent. You know, I kind of sometimes feel like I hold back and I play things safe sometimes. So I would love to see myself overcome that. And that's kind of what motivates me to keep going, because I'm gonna do it at some point, you know. So I'm excited to see myself overcome it so I can say, you remember when you were scared? And now look at you, you know? So, yeah.
What are you most known for?
Food. Eating. I lied to you not. Everybody, that's crazy you asked me that, because I just said to a friend of mine, I was like, you know what? In every like stage of my life, from high school to college to living in Atlanta to living in LA to doing music to doing TV, it's always that Kiki has snacks, Kiki is somewhere eating, or trying to figure out where the food is. And I'm like, wow, at least I'm consistent. I thank God for that.
What was your first big acting role on TV or film?
My first big role was, I guess I can say my first big role, but my first job for sure was Empire, Fox, Empire on Fox. I played Yana, who was Lucius Lyon's love interest. and yeah, he kind of put me on in the show. It's like he put me on to music, and I got to sing and all of that. I actually was only supposed to do like two to three episodes, but they ended up writing me in to like 14 out of 20, and I got to record. I was only supposed to record like one song, and I got to record 8. So that was a major blessing. So I guess I can say my first big role. Yeah.
Talk about working with Terrence Howard.
Terrence is the best. Terrence, I'm gonna be honest with you, I call him one of my guardian angels because he took me up under his wing and really showed me the ropes. And when I say show me the ropes, I mean like I was blocking his light and like, standing in the wrong spot, not on my mark, and he would just gently, pull me to the side to get, in the right spot, or just gently turn me this way if I'm kind of, blocking his angles. But he just really showed me the ropes, he kind of took me up under his wing and showed me the ropes. And honestly, anybody in entertainment, you pray for that. You pray to get into a situation or a job where people are nice enough and caring enough to pull you along and say, this is this and this is that, to show you the ropes, because you can get into a situation and people are like, you need to know what you're doing, or, they're not as welcoming or they're not as inviting, and that's always discouraging. So he's one of my guardian angels is what I call him. Yeah.
What's something that you wish more people knew about you?
What is something that I wish more people knew about me? I will say sometimes I feel like people perceive me as like like one of those stuck up, uppity type of people. I've heard that a couple of times. Like, oh, I thought you were gonna be, stuck up and blah, 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 blah. But I'm the complete opposite, very much so chill, goofy, and inviting, so I like to learn people. I really love to learn people. I'm never like one to push people away or to like be standoffish. So I guess I wish people knew that more. Get to know me and you'll love me.
I'd have to agree with that.
Yes.
What have been your biggest struggles in your career so far?
Fear. Fear has probably been one of the biggest ones, and I'm pretty confident in a lot of things, but there's always still, even in confidence and even in strength, there's still like sometimes some fear or some nervousness or some weakness here and there, So I think for me, the fear of what I can do, and also I would even say fear of acceptance in some ways. What do you mean, Kiandra? Because I'm trying to make sure I'm not just talking vaguely, but you always want to be accepted in your field. You always want to make sure people enjoy what you're doing. I'll say this. Perfectionism, I think, is something that has been one of my biggest obstacles. And that right there is like a byproduct of fear, I feel, because it's wanting things to be accepted. So much so that you're wanting everything to be perfect, and then you never put anything out, or you never, record the song or that type of thing. I think I'm still trying to get into the space of I'm just gonna do it because I can and I want to, not because, what is this person gonna say, or who's gonna buy it, or who's gonna listen, or that type of a thing. Getting out of my own way is that's been my biggest obstacle.
What's something that you know now that you wish you knew when you were younger, and what advice would you give your younger self?
Something that I'm still learning, actually, but I definitely would tell my younger self, don't be so hard on yourself. It's all right, girl. It's actually A-okay. You're gonna get better. You're gonna grow. If you keep at it, you're gonna grow. Things that were challenging before will be a breeze after a little while, so just don't be so hard on yourself. Because being too hard on yourself creates habits it creates bad self-talk. right? And so now I'm in the process of undoing that because of being so hard on myself before. So I would tell my younger self, don't be hard on yourself. So if there's anybody else that's listening, don't be so hard on yourself so that you don't have to undo, negative self-talk and figure out how to now talk better to yourself and how to, show up more confident. You won't have to do that if you don't be so hard on yourself early on.
What do you think about social media?
Did you get that?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I think about social media. No. Social media can be good for certain things only because now this is kind of how life is going. You kind of need it for marketing, if you will, for growing a fan base. Sometimes it can help with. Outside of that, I think it's kind of taking us away from life. I think it's kind of taking us away from life. Life itself. I think we get lost in this fake reality with social media, and it takes us away from people. It takes us away from ourselves, actually. Nature. It takes us away from life. I think everybody should have at least every week, no social media for a couple of days or something like that. Just to kind of put the phones down for a little bit and live life.
Would you say that social media and the way people are on social media, the conversations that people have, would you say that that is an accurate representation of society today?
Is it a real representation of how the world is today? I don't know. I think it depends. I think it depends on who it is. Some people might be fake with, what they put on social media. But as far as my circles or my friends, I know that the things that we do, if we capture it on video, it's pretty, real most times. So I don't know. I guess it just depends on who you're looking at,
What's something that you want more people to know about what it's really like living in LA and pursuing a career in acting?
Child, listen, okay? Rent is expensive in LA. I'm gonna just start there. Rent is expensive. However, whatever you put your mind to, you can do. So I don't want to limit anybody by saying, it's about money, because that has nothing to do with your dreams. If you want to do it, do it. What I will say is, if you're wanting to pursue anything in entertainment, music, acting, whatever it is, be prepared for the process of it all. Because we look at entertainment and it looks exciting, it looks like, glitz and glam, it looks like stardom and fame, it looks like happiness and joy, but in all actuality, it's just work, and it's probably one of the more anxiety-ridden occupations or industries, because it's competition, it's comparison, it's, you're going against all of these different people who look like you, and you're all shooting for this one role, or either you're just wanting people to like you, so you're wanting the song to sound good, you're wanting to be popular, you're wanting to be trendy, because if not, it's not going to sell. And there's so many different layers and avenues to entertaining, and if you're not really serious about it, the process of it all can really eat you up, because there's also the patience game, there's also the self-awareness that you need to have, there's also knowing enough about yourself to not be told who you are and to not follow the trends and follow the crowds. So, and with the patience thing, nothing happens like this, right? Everything takes time. For you to get to whatever age you're at now, it took years, you know what I'm saying? So your career and anything that you're passionate about and anything that you want to see go like this and be big and huge, that's going to take time. When I moved to LA, it took me about 7 months to get my first gig. And it wasn't even like a big gig. It was just, I was singing background for Tyler, the Creator on Tiny Desk, which was great. I needed a job, But it took me 7 months out here. And I couldn't go back home because, like I told you, I made the choice to come out and make it work. And I didn't have, where was I going to go? To my mom's house? I didn't want to go to my mom's house because, no, I'm going to make it work, So I stayed out here for 7 months. And I went through depression for the first time. I never experienced that, but I experienced it in that time. And I had to really talk to myself and pray and meditate and find things to keep my spirit high, in that time. And so I say that to say things aren't gonna happen like this. The process sometimes can get dark. The process can get scary. It can be painful. And you just need to be equipped and ready for something like that, if that's what you're wanting to do. But outside of that, if your mindset is, okay with the fact that whatever the process looks like to get to the product I'm good with, then you'll be absolutely okay. And you'll be able to enjoy all the fruits of your labor, and you'll be very happy. And I actually just pray for that for everybody. I pray that everybody can enjoy the fruits of their labor and be happy, truly happy.
Okay. What about the vegetables of their labor?
The what?
The vegetables of their labor. Everybody.
You gotta enjoy the vegetables too. Vegetables and fruit, because we all need that. Anything that comes from God that's on the earth that we're actually supposed to be eating, enjoy it.
It's about balance.
It's about balance. It's about balance. Get your little snack, a little piece of candy here and there, but fruits and vegetables.
And to kind of piggyback off that, how did your real experience compare to your imagined experience before you moved to LA?
Honey, I was supposed to be famous by 17, okay? So let's start there. Let's start with, this is not how I planned it, By the time I got here and I saw how things were, this is the thing, I was okay with whatever the process looked like. I wasn't expecting to be depressed, but I wasn't expecting it to be easy either, So I was okay with whatever I had to go through. It's just the going through it part. You still have to feel all of the things. You still have to, reaffirm yourself and do the positive self-talk. It's like, it's definitely not what I planned, but I planned for the vision to come to pass. So that's kind of where my mind has always been. The vision is gonna come to pass. So whatever the process looks like, we just gonna have to suck it up and deal, And quite frankly, we're strong enough for that. I know people love to try to tell us that we're not and that we can't and that we won't, but we actually are strong enough. Whatever we put our minds to, we can really do. And I mean that. I mean that.
What do you have going on in your life right now?
Right now, I am focused on acting, and I'm wanting to step into recording music. I haven't put anything out of my own yet. And for whatever reason, I feel like this year is either going to be the start of that, or either I'm going to put something out this year of my own. So I'm going to speak that, and I'm going to come back and say, remember what he said? So that's kind of where I am now in my career. And I'm getting ready to do some shooting for a show. So I'll let you know what that is, and then I can tell you guys to watch it and tune in.
Sounds good. And can you sing us out?
What song?
Let's see.
What are we gonna sing?
Sing us some Whitney Houston.
Sing Whitney Houston?
You gotta sing.
What song of Whitney Houston? What's a good Whitney Houston song for this? Greatest Love of All.
That's a good one. Or I Have Nothing, either one.
Or I Have Nothing?
Yeah, either one. Whichever you feel. That's a snippet.
Okay. Share my life, take me for what I am, 'cause I'll never change all my colors for you. Boom, bum, 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 go to the bridge. I don't really need to look very much further. I don't wanna have to go where you don't follow. I won't hold it back again. This passion inside, I can't run from myself. There's nowhere to hide. So don't make me close one more door. I don't wanna hurt anymore. Stay in my arms if you dare. Oh, must I imagine you there? Don't walk away from me. No, I have nothing, nothing, nothing if I don't have you.
Yeah, bravo.
I did not warm up for that.
Amazing, amazing. And just one last question. How do you train your voice? Because with no warm up, that was incredible. Incredible.
How do I train it? Singing. Sing all the time. Sing every day if you can, and sing songs that challenge your vocals. I warm up with Whitney Houston stuff because it's tough to sing, so I just kind of like try to get all them notes in there and all of that. And outside of that, get a coach. Get a vocal coach.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
See you.
Thanks for coming through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love you, Zach.
Love you too.